Hello everyone and welcome to Mind Garbage. My name is Eric Myers. Today I'm going to be talking about Batman the Telltale series, and this is a review actually for it. I reviewed episode 1 way back when it happened, and I'm going to actually give a full season review for it. And I want to say, starting out, what an amazing game. I'm a huge Batman fan. Absolutely huge. And one of the things that I greatly enjoyed about this is that it took every notion that I had for Batman and completely changed it, blew it out of the water into something that I did not expect at all. And I think that's kind of important to do with, like, specifically the Arkham series of games. You kind of know what you're going to get with Batman, and I think even Arkham Knight to an extent proves that. Spoilers for Arkham Knight. Even with, like, the Arkham Knight storyline, it was basically just replacing Arkham Knight with Red Hood. It was still Jason Todd, and it told that story, and it does take a little bit of liberties, but there are things about it that are overall the same, is things that you expect in Batman canon. The thing that I enjoy about this is that it completely throws that out the window. And this is also, there's spoilers just everywhere. If you haven't played Batman Season 1 yet, go and play it, check it out. It's really great. And then come back and watch this video. Pause it, play the whole thing, come back, and then you can watch the video, comment, and talk with me. The thing that I really like about this is there's something that happens in the very first episode, and that's finding out that your parents are awful people, basically. And you would expect in the second season that they would be like, oh, no, that's not, I mean, the second episode, no, that's not the case. Batman's parents wouldn't do that. But they roll with it, which is awesome. And the reason why that is so cool is because it's the first hint that something is going to be a little bit different about this Batman story. Batman in this is, in my opinion, this is a very different Bruce Wayne, but the thing that I really like about it is that you can play it in any way that you can. To me, when I was playing it as Batman is Batman, and Bruce Wayne is the alter ego, if that makes sense. You have these decisions throughout it, like, do you want to do this as Bruce Wayne or as Batman? I always chose Batman because to me, that's my Batman, that's his story. But you could also play it as more Bruce Wayne. You can play it very violently. You can play a Batman that's just really violent, and then, there's things like, oh, Gotham will remember this and everything. And that is something that's very cool and different, is that there is, for the first time, I feel like in a Telltale game, an actual difference of certain things. It's been described before that Telltale games are more of just like, a pyramid, sort of. You start out with all these different angles, but it all leads to the same place. And I promise that wasn't an Illuminati thing. I'm not a part of that organization at all. Don't turn off this video, please. But the thing that I like about this is that it could be described more as a fork, in the sense that it starts from the same place, but then it goes off into completely different directions. One of the things that I really enjoy about, like, in that instance, is with Two-Face. Harvey Dent is in this game. He can go through the entire game from episode 2 on with the whole scar on his face and be Two-Face. Or he could not, which is what happened with me. In my playthrough, I chose to save I chose to save him and not Catwoman. And then for the rest of the game, he's mostly normal. But the thing that I enjoy about that particular way that they did his character was that it was showed more of the insane side of him, which I think is important. You don't actually really get to see that very often. You see a much more kind of schizophrenic version of him, which I think is awesome. It's really cool to be able to see that, and I applaud Telltale for doing that. Another thing that they did that I thought was very cool was just the overall feeling of the world. This feels like the Christopher Nolan Batman mixed with animated series Batman, in that it feels like he's starting out, kind of, and that he's very human, yet surrounded by these just extreme extreme situations, but it's also like he's going to figure it out because he's Batman. And so like a lot of the combat instances are basically almost just you mapping out what you want to do. Do I want to take out this thug using a chandelier, or do I want to throw him into a wall? Which is really cool. It's different, from normal Telltale thing where it's just kind of like, oh yeah, just go ahead and do it, and then it happens, and you're like, oh, it happened. But this is different, and I appreciate that. And another difference with the characters and just the story is just how they approach it. You're fighting this new enemy called why can't I remember it? It's not Lady Arkham. Is it? Well, she is Lady Arkham. Arkham something. I can't remember. Children of Arkham, that's the whole thing. And then you're fighting what you assume would be Mr. Arkham, but it's Lady Arkham. But they're taking chances with characters like Vicky Vale and turning her into this horrible person at first. But then as you go to find out stories with her parents that she had that were, her parents had died because of Bruce Wayne's parents. And then on top of that, she gets adopted by these horrible, terrible people, which is totally interesting because there's so much symbolism just within the first, not necessarily symbolism, but foreshadowing, I would say, within, you go to investigate the house and she murdered these people, and you're like, who did this and everything. And there's a point that, and I hadn't noticed this until someone had pointed it out, and I thought it was really cool. There's a point where you go into this room and you see the man's been hung with a belt. He's pretty tore up and everything. And it's kind of like, man, this is really messed up. Who would do this? And then you find out later, when you find out that's Vicky Vale's adoptive parents and that she murdered them, and being terrible, there was a hole that they'd put her in, and there were belts that lined the wall where basically they would beat her with them. And so it was just this added layer of just these little things that make it into just a very cool experience. And with the inclusion of characters like the Joker and the Puppeteer, I think this is so cool in the sense that as someone who loves Batman like I do, it's cool to see a different interpretation, which I'm always up for. If you take a property I love, make it different, I'm all for it. And so that's exciting to me. I like that. That being said, this game does have its fair share of technical problems because it's Telltale, and at this point it's starting to get a little out of control. I didn't experience too many issues. There was a little bit of framey parts in episode 1, 2, and 3, and 4, but then 5 was, it barely ran. It was terrible. And to me, it's getting to the point where Telltale, you really need to fix your engine. And I know you said you fixed your engine, but when a man that's not a man and there's just a pair of floating eyeballs and a mouth holding a taser and he's trying to tase me, that's not cool, man. Come on, figure that out. So hopefully figure that out. And aside from that, though, this is a fantastic game. I mean, this is Telltale, not necessarily grown up, but to me this is the best Telltale game that I have personally played. I loved Walking Dead. Season 1 and Season 2 both made me cry. Very tear-jerk worthy. Tales from the Borderlands, fantastic. I mean, all these properties that they do are great. But this, to me, hits on so many levels. And granted, I'm biased because I love Batman. But if you love Batman, or even if you're not a huge Batman fan, give it a shot. I think you'll like it. Yeah. So yeah, check it out. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you'd like, you can follow me on Twitter at EricMyers93, link down below. You can like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. And we'll see you guys next week with a very, very special video.